Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. You're probably going to hear some cars and a fountain in the background and some noise, but again, tis the not tis the season. That's the podcast. It's part of its charm, right? Because as I say, it's unedited and you're going to hear that stuff. It's just part and parcel. Is that the saying? Part and parcel? Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. It's part of the package deal, right? You choose to tune into my podcast knowing that it's unfiltered. I say it right there and then you're going to hear some stuff, right? So, hey, it's been a bit. It's been a moment. I haven't really... My head's been sort of all over, and so I couldn't really focus. I didn't know what I was even going to do a podcast about. Not that that matters, because even when I do have an idea, my podcast is all over the place and not really assembled. I'm kind of, I touch on a million topics and I digress a lot, and so it shouldn't matter that I don't really know what I was going to talk about, because again, there's been numerous podcasts where I had no idea what the hell I was going to say. And that didn't stop me from doing a podcast. I just babbled on, just rambled on and on and on about absolutely fucking nothing. So, but it did stop me. For some reason, it stopped me. I didn't want to put you guys through another one. Not that right now I have really anything of importance to say now. And I'm not guaranteeing that this is going to be a good podcast either. This is probably going to be a shit show as per the usual, right? I mean, really, are any of my podcasts that great? Speaking of, though, I cannot tell you what in the hell. That was a weird ass sounding truck. That sounds weird. Thank you so forking much for everybody that's been tuning in. I've all of a sudden got like a handful of what in the... I am hearing some noises. Okay, if I die while doing this podcast, sadly, that'll probably up my ratings a lot, just like after artists die, suddenly their artwork is worth a lot, which is really frustrating. People shouldn't have to die to make money. That's like an Alanis Morissette song. Isn't it ironic that after I die, I make a boatload after people cry? Oh yeah, that's gold right there. That is gold. All right, jot that one down. So that's a good lyric right there. You have my right. Go ahead. You have permission to use that. That's good stuff. But you shouldn't have to be dead, but to make some money. But if I die, people will like me, right? But those of you that are already listening, that are listening to me before I die, which I hope is not like soon, thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you times a bajillion. Thank you so freaking much. I honestly cannot say thank you enough. Thank you. Speaking of death, is it weird that honest to God, this thought runs through my brain anytime I leave somewhere. Like, I usually will let someone know in a weird way where I'm at or where I'm going or what I'm doing in case I die. And I also, when I step outside, especially, it doesn't matter if it's day or night. It doesn't matter if it's in like a quote safe place or not. It doesn't matter if I'm familiar with the area or not. I will always check out where I am. Check out what's around me, check out my surroundings. And then I think, if I die right now, who's going to find me? What am I wearing? Have I shaved my legs? What am I wearing? And also, what were the last things I said? And is this really going to be how I die? How stupid. I think of these things. And I'm like, that's really morbid. But then I'm like, no, maybe it's just a woman thing. Oh, wow, party. Woo! They're woo girls. They're woo girls. Woo! Anybody that has ever watched How I Met Your Mother will know that reference. Woo girl. Woo! I think women think of that a lot. We survey our surroundings, especially if it's kind of dark. Like right now, it's dark. I mean, I'm in a fairly well-lit area, and as you can hear, there are people around. They're the woo girls. I'm not knocking woo girls, by the way. If you are, I've been a woo girl before. I've totally been. I mean, I'm not a big woo. I don't really do a woo a lot. I don't know why I said I'm a woo girl. I'm not, actually. I don't think I've ever wooed. But, well, yeah, no, I have. I think I was a woo girl when I went to Fremont in Vegas with Jessica. I think I was a woo girl. Yeah, I think I did a lot of wooing. Anyway, see, I digress. But I think women do that. I think women maybe do that a lot more than men. But I think about like what I'm wearing and how I'm going to die. And I feel like if you've ever seen the show Dead Like Me, she dies because a toilet seat falls from like the like a spaceship, and it falls and hits her. And I'm like, that's going to be how something like that is going to be how I die. It's going to be something really stupid and really like off the wall, and like, you know, I can't win the lottery, but it'll be something that like would happen in a once in a lifetime weird ass freak thing, which I mean, I'm okay with. If you're going to go out, I guess I don't like attention. I really don't like the attention. And again, I was doing this podcast in audio because I don't really like the attention. And then you're going to be like, well, you have social media and you post videos. True. Yes, that is true. But again, there's a difference for some reason to me, because I'm not just babbling on and on. They're quick little 2-minute blurpy blurps. I'm not like, you know, getting into any kind of depth of conversation. So, but yeah, I don't want, like, I'm probably going to die in a weird way that gets a lot of attention, and that's going to piss me off. And then I'm going to become a ghost or a poltergeist. I'm going to haunt people, and it's going to be a whole thing. But, and the way, like, of course you start thinking about dying, but I started thinking about death when I was really young, because, and people can say what they want. I want to say for the record, I'm a very, very logical person. I like to look at things scientifically and logically, and I try to debunk stuff. That said, I don't know if there are ghosts or not. I think our energy lives on in some form. We don't know what that form is. There's a potential that there are spirits. I am not always going to that. I'm not one that, you know, I try to debunk, go through logical things first. If I can't explain. I still don't necessarily think that something is supernatural. That said, I don't rule out the supernatural either, because we don't know. There's a lot of shit, a lot of stuff we do not know. Just like God. I've never ruled out God. I've always just said, I don't know. I have no idea. But when I was a kid, I used to swear that I would see ghosts and stuff. And so I thought about death a lot. See, you guys thought that I didn't know where I was going and then I got lost. And just when you think I'm down, they pick me back up. What is it? I remember Sopranos quoting it from some movie. Just when you think I'm down, I come back. No. I don't remember. But anyway, I get knocked down, but I get up again. No, you're never going to keep me down. Well, I always circle back around, right? Woo! I come back around. You get a mental workout. Again, if this is your first time, I really get your brain mentally, it's a workout, but I make you prepared for, like, Navy SEALs, for 3-year-olds, for Labrador Retrievers. You'll be able to own a dog that has, you know, high energy. If you have toddlers, I'm getting you like on your A game. So you're welcome. Another reason to listen to me, right? So ghosts, I thought about death. I think about death too much, and not in a weird way, not in a morbid way though. I've just always been curious. I've been curious about everything. I'm curious about many things. I'm one that asks questions. And I'm pretty sure even when I die, I'm going to have even more questions. I'm going to be like, where the fuck am I? What is this? What's going on? Hello? You know. I don't know. Who does that? So death, oh God, what did I step in something? Do you guys think about that? is it I mean, of course it's not just a woman thing, thinking of death, right? But when I was young, you would think that like when you get older, you think more and more of it. But I thought that I saw ghosts when I was younger. I also thought I saw aliens. I would hear and see things that I absolutely could not explain. And I would constantly try to sneak into my parents' room and hide under their bed. I would sleep on their floor because I was absolutely fucking terrified of what I thought were ghosts. I genuinely, not even kidding you, felt like the kid on Sixth Sense. Sixth Sense. That is very hard to say. Sixth Sense. Yeah. You know, Bruce Willis, the kid. I see dead people. Yeah, I swear to fucking God, I thought that I saw dead people now as a kid. And to this day, I try to rationalize the things that I've seen and heard. And even as a child, again, I questioned. My parents kept my report cards and they would make comments on my progress reports. Good kid, talks too much, asks a lot of questions. And I seriously wasn't the kid that's like, why? I'd just be like, well, if that happened, wouldn't this happen? Or if this person said or did this, then wouldn't that make this true? I just tried to rationalize and reason things, and I tried to figure out where people were coming from, figure out what was making people tick, the reasons that people did things. I love watching shows like How It's Made. I fucking love those shows, How It's Made. I love the things like also the shows that talk about like the world's largest cruise ship and how it's ran and how each department runs their department and what makes them run efficiently. Or like the world's largest hotel and how it's ran and what makes it run and the working parts. Like I just love trying to figure out. I love those. It's at OMSI. I don't know if everybody has OMSI, and I forget the name of it, but where you like drop a ball. I don't know if Einstein created it, but you drop a ball or marble and it goes down like a series of like a track, and then that track jumps to another thing and makes that work, and it goes through a tunnel and goes through a funnel, and then it makes, those things. I forgot what that's called, sorry, but I love that kind of shit because I'm like, wow, and then what does that do? And so I'm just fascinated by ghosts, by religion, by how things work. And when I was a kid, I would see aliens and ghosts, and I would try my best as a child to explain things away, and I would constantly go into my parents' room and hide under their bed or try to sleep next to them on the floor, and they would always end up getting up at some point and waking me up and telling me to get out, and I was like petrified. I was like, no. And so then I would surround myself with a million stuffed animals. I hated dolls and stuff, but stuffed animals, I would try to get as many as I could and surround myself. And keep in mind, I was also home by myself a lot from a young age until way too late. And so I just never felt safe. And I always kind of thought about death and how I was going to go because I just never felt safe. I was either alone without my parents late into the night when I was younger, when I was too young, or I felt like there were ghosts or aliens, and just other messed up stuff. Like I said, my parents used to fight a lot and literally punch each other and throw plates at each other, and it was a whole thing. And so cops were over a lot. So safety was a factor. And unfortunately, I would think about, if I saw ghosts, do I become a ghost when I die? Do I become an alien? I never felt safe. So, I just thought about all aspects of death. Like, am I going to die in a weird way? Am I going to feel it? Is it going to be quick? And that's terrible. I'm like, I got to live. I can't be thinking about death. I'm living. So I snapped out of it for a while. I had to figure out ways to preoccupy myself, to, occupy my brain with a lot, with living. And then I would drift back, and I haven't thought about those things in a long time, but now I'm kind of in a different situation, and I don't, again, Now I don't think about it in a morbid way. I really don't. I almost kind of look at it as funny because I'm like, well, we're all going to die, and I can't be scared of it because if you're religious, you just have to be like, well, I can't be fearful because I'm going to heaven, and that is amazing. And you can't fear heaven. You get to see your loved ones and feel his embrace. And I almost died once. I was dying, actively dying. I was hemorrhaging to death, literally. And as scared as I've always been of death, I remember telling my friend, and very, very vividly, I felt so peaceful. It was the most, I cannot explain it. I had surgery, and unfortunately they accidentally didn't stitch me up. They didn't stitch me up all the way, so I was hemorrhaging to death, and they didn't know it until I was turning gray, and I kept trying desperately to get my friend's attention, who was there to pick me up. It was supposed to be a in and out procedure, not in and out necessarily, but I wasn't even going to stay the night in the hospital. And I remember thinking, I think I'm dying. I could literally feel the blood leaving my body. I know that sounds weird, but I could feel it. I could just feel it. I could just tell I was dying. And this most amazing feeling, though, came over me of peace. And I kept trying desperately to get my friend's attention and tell her that I thought I was dying. And finally, she was like, you don't look good, Courtney. And she got the nurse, and the nurse was like, holy God. And I remember them saying that I was gray. And I remember them literally saying stat, and they pushed some blue light. Some light was flashing. And then I literally remember nothing else. And so, point being, there's stuff. I believe in stuff. See, again, you thought that I was not going to come back around. But worry not, I will always make, well, actually, I won't. I can't guarantee that I'll always circle back around. Sometimes I just get sidetracked, and then there's no turning back. But I don't look at it as I try not to, because I can't focus on being scared of that. Otherwise, I'll have a panic attack, and I used to get massive anxiety thinking about death. And then I wasn't scared, and it's been a whole thing. So I just don't want to be buried. That's going to piss me off. I'm petrified of being buried. No one better lock me in a coffin and fucking bury me, because no. Ooh. Anyway, now this is getting morbid. We gotta mix it up here. See, this is why I haven't done a podcast, because people are gonna be like, damn, Corny, that got real dark. And we're turning off. Sorry. Well, rally time. Put our baseball caps on backwards. It's rally time. All right. Let's switch over to other things. What else has been on my brain? I am still working on this whole controlling what I can and letting go of what I cannot. And it's been pretty great because I have had a lot of stress. And I promise this is going to be a good feel-good thing. I was stressing out. I wasn't sure how I was going to pay some bills. Wasn't sure. I was worried about some family and just stressing out about my family and their bills and my bills and stuff. And I was just like, oh my gosh, please let this work out somehow. And then it did. Someone that I know and their family had contacted me. They knew that I was very anxious, and I was stressed out to the point that I was back to not sleeping again, and my stomach was killing me because I was so nervous and anxious, and I felt like I had an ulcer. I feel like I have an ulcer. And I was just venting. I wasn't trying to I was just letting her know that that's why I hadn't shown up one day when I was supposed to. I had such a bad migraine, and I wasn't feeling well because I was stressed and such. And they ended up calling me and helping my family out in such an amazing way that I bawled because it was such a huge, huge, massive weight off of my son's shoulders and my shoulders. And it just makes you go, God, with all of the insanity that is going on in the world and all of the people that want so desperately to drag you down and make you feel their misery. Because again, that misery, she loves a party. Misery loves a rave. She wants to boogie down with everybody. Misery is not racist. Misery is, not prejudiced. Misery loves everybody. And she wants everybody in the party. But we have to remember that misery is, misery is as misery does, right? Just like stupid is as stupid does. So if you want to join that party, then you're just always going to be unhappy, and you're going to be stressful, and your gut is going to feel rotten, and your head is going to hurt, and your shoulders and back are going to feel tight, and you're just, what a way to live. We have to be on this earth living while we're alive and can. Otherwise, if we're just constantly thinking of death and how we're going to die, and we're constantly wanting to be unhappy and bring everybody else down with us, why? Like, for what purpose, There are amazing, amazing humans out there, and I found that out. I have actually been so fortunate. I have had so many people help my family and I out when I've needed it. I've had so many people, strangers, perfect strangers, have come through for my family and I. And we need to focus on those people, because the people that are assholes don't deserve our attention. They want our attention. They desperately, evil always wants our attention. Evil is, oh my God, my phone rang while I was talking to you, and it scared the fuck out of me. If you guys heard me say, oh shit, don't worry, I didn't die. I just almost shit my pants though. Oh, my heart's racing. My phone rang right in my ear. Anyway, don't let the evil, because evil is always going to be like, hello. And you just got to be like, fuck yourself. Go fuck off and die. Well, probably not the die part. That's a little harsh, but don't let it win. We got to focus on the good. And I had a family help me out in such an amazing way. And I've had people help me out. And people do usually come through. If you let them know that things aren't okay, a lot of people will go out of their way to be like, what can I do? Even if it's $1, even if it's helping you clean your house or take your dog on a walk or just listen to you vent. It doesn't have to cost money, You can make someone a meal. Who knows? There are many ways of helping, but I just think we need to focus on the things we can control, and we need to give the good people a shout out, like the people that listen to my podcast. Woo, woo, woo girl. I'm a woo girl for people that listen to my podcast. So thank you. Thank you so much. And let's just not let this evil into anywhere. We got to kick him in the crotch. What's that? There's that evil song that cracks me up. Kick it in the crotch. Anyway, I appreciate you so much. And I tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a coworker, tell everybody. Shout it from the rooftop. Don't actually go on a rooftop. Don't really go on a rooftop and shout it. I don't want people being like, well, Courtney said to... No, don't do that. But you can just be like, hey, if you want to shout it like in a field or something. Not in a field, because then no one's going to hear you. You know what I'm trying to say. Let people know, right? Anyway, until next time.